Hello everyone, welcome to mindovermania. My name is Christian and we are doing another pick a card reading where you get to choose your own intuitive message. Today's topic is, should I listen to this advice? The intention of this reading is to be used as a general guide to help you do a intuition check on the advice that someone may be giving you. Maybe it's a friend or a colleague, maybe it's a organization or whatnot. This is not meant to replace mental health advice, medical advice, any of that sort of stuff, so please don't utilize this video in that way. This is mostly meant to be just a kind of a vibe check, a back and forth between your spirit guides, myself, and you to help you determine what is the best route to take. Because of the nature of this type of a video, I just want to say please make sure that you are clear in your intuition before utilizing this. I don't want y'all making major life decisions using this video. Use common sense. This is meant to be a supplement to help you, not, hey, I'm gonna go make a stock market choice and then you come back and get mad at me, because that's not the intention of this video. This is supposed to be between you and your spirit guides, and you are ultimately responsible for the choices of your own actions. Today we're going to have 5 lovely piles to select, and each of these rocks I have for each of these rocks I found them at the Balcones Canyonland Wildlife Reserve. So if you ever are traveling to Austin, Texas, check it out. It's a really beautiful place. So anyways, without further ado, put both feet on the ground, take a couple of deep breaths. Imagine a dark blue light over your third eye chakra to kind of clear any energy out. Think about your question in your mind and then select your pile based off of whatever you feel drawn to, or maybe the number you're drawn to. In any case, good luck, and I will see you at your pile. Hello everyone, you have chosen rock number 1. And these are going to be your messages from Spirit on, should I listen to this advice? Right off the bat, energetically, I'm feeling like this person gave you some really solid advice. I don't know if you asked this from like either a consultant or from a professional, but this person seems to know what they're talking about, and they're fully confident in your ability to make this decision. I think this pile gives me the vibe that you're just double checking in with Spirit anyway, but I think you're also in alignment with this advice. Let's check out the cards. We have just being near you is intoxicating, and I bury myself in work to forget you. Yeah, I feel like with this pile, maybe the reason why you're questioning your judgment or this advice is because you're feeling very overworked right now, or you're tired. You're trying to not think about this person, and maybe, I don't know if they're... This may be just one scenario, but there might be a little bit of judgment you had in the past of this person, but this particular piece of advice is pretty sound. With the just being near you is intoxicating, I do feel like you guys have a tendency to get overwhelmed easy, or maybe, for example, there's like a person in the situation that, like, maybe when you're in good company, you're self-regulated, but when you're outside in the wilderness and dealing with people, it can be stressful and overwhelming, and you feel almost intoxicated. There's just definitely this energy of like, you're just questioning this person's judgment just from the standpoint of, you don't know how to self-regulate the best in your current state right now. Maybe, as I said, in some scenarios you're fine, but for this particular topic, you're just like, hey, I just want to do a check-in with Spirit. Let's get some more cards, because there could be a variety of reasons this person's giving you this advice and what the topic is of. I'm trying to keep this vague on purpose because I don't really want to swing the opinion one way or another. If anything, Spirit's just kind of guiding me to be more about the reasons why you should probably what they're saying is why you should be requesting advice, and specifically, I'm also getting the vibe that it's good to have more than one opinion. However, this person's opinion's pretty solid in general. So ultimately, it's your choice of what you do going from here. We've got healing heart, healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. Yeah, so maybe, for example, if this was an inquiry an advice about a toxic relationship right now, your head's swarming with all these different thoughts and opinions and feelings that other people gave you, and you're just trying to weed out what fits best in your heart. That would also be a really great way to formulate your response to either a person. If this is a more professional setting, taking the time to maybe rewrite an email a couple times just to see how it feels within. Because I do think that you should be trusting your own judgment in this case. And have a little more confidence in yourself. I think that you know what you're doing on a subconscious level. I think just right now, there's just a lot on your plate. And that's something that you should address within yourself before making this decision too, that you're not reacting impulsively. For example, if you're trying to decide if you want to move or change careers, right now all of the anxiety is preventing you from seeing what is actually good within your heart. And this person knows, or I feel like this person who you're asking advice from has a pretty clear idea of what's going on in your situation and has taken into account the fact that you are stressed and overwhelmed. And I don't think you always trust that, but this person's a solid person to get that advice from. Hand of Cards, take a chance, risk being strategic options. Yeah, another piece of this advice is understand that you do have multiple options and choices. Now I get the vibe you're trying to determine, is this the best choice for me? At this current moment in time, and you get to kind of, you're the one that's going to need to navigate that, Spirit saying, is because with the take a chance and risk, for example, if you are trying to take a chance and a risk, I do feel like I'm inclined to say that this is probably the best route you can take without knowing all the details. And if anything, even if this specific advice doesn't necessarily apply to all things, you should be at least borrowing this person's mindset of how they came to the conclusions of this advice. Again, so maybe this is a professional and someone who has all that experience. You're not gonna, you don't need all the experience in the world to make this decision. You know what I mean? Just because, obviously you might be a very smart person, but this other person has the actual, knowledge. And I don't think they're trying to play you or anything like that. It just definitely feels like this person's coming from a place of they know, and they do have that knowledge, that an experience that you might not have acquired. And I feel again, as I said, if you're in agreement, that's also a good sign as well. The Phoenix, new phase, rekindle, renew, transform, growth. Yeah, I think you guys are transforming your decision making, as in you're making better and healthier decisions for yourself, and you're actually going towards people that know what they're talking about. It's kind of I think another thing to kind of just reassure yourself, guys, is especially when you're feeling a bit vulnerable or frazzled right now, understanding that you're going through a transitionary phase, regardless of if you define it or as that way or not. And as we're growing and accumulating information as we go about living life, how we utilize that information and make judgment calls and decisions from there is really key in getting what we want out of life. And I feel renewing your confidence within yourself and understanding that, again, you don't need to have all the answers to make the best decision for you. All right, release yourself from that pressure, because you are stepping into another age. Again, with a lot of societal changes and a lot of other things going on, there's a lot of reason to be afraid right now. Especially if this is a financial advisor and you're just okay, I'm kind of scared about where my money's at right now. Or if you've changed your mind in the past, go slow, and kind of really feel through why this person's advice feels solid to you. That might be another thing, is you might be questioning your own ability to make decisions right now because of the stress. And I think that's pretty a valid fear. So two-pronged of addressing the advice is, one, feeling comfortable in the advice that you received, but two, understanding where it's coming from so you can also reassure yourself and make sure it is in alignment with your boundaries. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I feel like maybe in the past you've been used to impulsively just listening to people, and that's what got you screwed in the past, where it's like, oh, well, this person seemed professional, I took their advice and it didn't work out. So in this case, you're now in the standpoint of actually like mulling over the advice and being like, hey, well, why specifically is this advice in alignment with me? I would only let you go so I could make sure you're safe. I love you more than pride. Yeah. I feel like you're overcoming a former pride of always knowing what's best for you. You know what I mean? Or maybe, for example, you were kind of stubborn about your safety, you know? And so, there's something about just understanding that, you know, making sure the sound advice checks all your boxes are feeling safe. Like, again, you're safe right now in this moment. Your spirit guide team's protecting you. They have your best interest in mind. And that's another thing too, is like, if you're also questioning, check in with your spirit guide team, you know, in the moment, or like look for additional confirmation, you know, 222 444 666. I don't know what kind of like numbers you need, but those were just some numbers that I felt drawn to say. I know it's complicated and hard. I still want you anyway. Yeah, I do feel like your spirit guide team is just saying, hey, I'm on your side. And they're acknowledging that, you know, navigating what you're going through right now is tricky. You know, maybe even if the decision you're trying to make isn't like the most life-altering decision, I do feel though that what you have overall going on is complicated, and that's why they're saying trust a little bit more and have a little more confidence and strength within yourself to understand that you will get through whatever you're going through right now. Like, you have a team supporting you, not just yourself, okay? And that's another thing too, is like, take stock of what you have going on around you too, to support the advice you're getting. Because that's another thing too, is like, if you gave this person all the details that they need to make the best advice, then great. If not, then go back and talk to them again. Because if you're after this reading, you're thinking, you know, actually, I didn't think about that resource I actually have. Let me go back and talk to them about it. That might also help you as well with the confidence that you have. Don't worry, it's my love you're feeling. Yeah. Spirit is just saying like, hey, I know you're feeling anxious, but that's also your body and mind telling you that you're worried about this situation because you care, or maybe other people are worried. It's because they love you and they want to protect you and prevent you from getting hurt, you know? And I think that's something to kind of remind yourself of when there's chaos going on. Remember the love that's underneath all of this. So, for example, if this isn't a major decision, but you are feeling anxious, remember what's the most important thing here? Love, kindness, being able to enjoy life to the best of your ability, you know, and feeling fulfilled in whatever decision you make, you know? So remember, pay attention to your feelings in this situation, because there are the feelings that are supporting you right now and the ones that are just fleeting, you know, and learning to determine the difference is important. I want to watch the rainfall on your body. Yeah, I think so. This card, I mean, it's obviously a central card, but take some time to ground. Maybe go sit, take a nice bath, or go swimming, or like just find ways to reconnect back with your body. So whenever you are feeling this sort of anxiety during this situation or whatever response you receive back, yeah, just understand that it takes time to get a little self-regulated when you've been dealing with this stress. And you're going about this the right way, and Spirit's kind of commending you, saying, hey, we've got your back. You're doing what we want you to be doing, okay? You're checking in with us. You're checking in with other professionals. You have everything you need to get where you need to go. And even if it doesn't work out in the way you expect, there is something greater for your highest good coming your way, regardless. So just take this as another stepping stone to get where you need to go, okay, guys? Radiate some positivity. Anyways, thank you so much for stopping by today and watching this YouTube reading. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're interested in booking a personal reading, links are in the description down below. And check out my website for links to professional resources that are available out there, and my blog that talks about different spiritual topics and how to navigate stress. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Hello, everyone. You have chosen rock number 2, and this is going to be your messages on should I listen to this person's advice? I don't know what the heck is going on with your pile, but already off the bat, I'm getting pissed off. I'm like, what in the heck? Don't, like, your spirit guide team is literally, like, screaming in my ear, don't go towards this person. I don't know if this is relationship. I don't know if this is business or family or whatever the heck is going on, but, like, there is a person involved in this situation that you should not be messing with. Do not go towards them. I don't know if you've been receiving warnings or like this person you're receiving advice from doesn't care, but there's definitely this energy of like the person that's talking to you about this has no idea either how toxic this person is, or what is more likely is this person just ignores red flags in general. I don't trust this person's judgment for giving advice about the situation simply because they also participate in whatever this negative person's toxicity is. So maybe it's a toxic mindset. Maybe it's the fact that they just choose to overlook things. And so they're trying to talk to you I feel like this friend may be like parentified, or they're the kind of person that they're like, well, I did everything myself, so my opinion is best. When really it's like, well, yeah, you taught yourself because you didn't have sound advice. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean anything about whether the advice is good or not, or your decisions were good or not. You know, I just think in general, just because this is a self-starter person doesn't mean that they always have the best intentions or the best advice. And in this case, somebody is missing the mark. Okay. Yeah. And again, you could also, look at this reading as like advice from yourself too, but again, regardless of what's going on, somebody in this scenario is not paying attention to red flags. For the card we pulled, we've got 39, protecting treasure. Yeah, Spirit is hella telling me, please protect the best version of yourself. Like, if you gotta get upset or obsessive with this person to keep yourself connected to them, stay out of it. All right, just stay the heck away from this. Like, you've got a rainbow in the rain, so regardless of what you're trying to decide, you know what's best for you, and you do have the sun shining on you even in the rain. It's just that just because everything's raining and you're getting bombarded with messages or things from Spirit. I don't know if you guys watch a lot of pick a card readings or tarot readings, but they're giving you bad advice. Okay, there's something about the fact that Spirit is the one that's protecting you, not this particular tarot reader. And not every scenario is going to apply. So say, for example, maybe this tarot reader or other person gives good advice in general, but in this particular context, you came to this message and this pile to check with your intuition and your spirit guides. Okay? So I want you to erase everything you've been told in the past from other people. This is your very clear warning sign. If you make a choice that involves and requires this person's financial support, love interest, business, career, family, it's a no. No. You stay away from this person. With this girl under the umbrella, I feel like there's a version of you that is shut down from being able to make discernment about this person or judgment, or this is what you're going to end up like if you end up involved in this person. And again, you have either, with this treasure chest right here, I feel like you're either sitting on money or you have wealth and value that this person will take away from you and leave you with nothing if you move towards this person. Like, I'm getting gold digger energy. Again, it doesn't have to be a man or a woman, like whatever it is, this scenario will drain you, right? And you've got people that are watching out for you though. So I want you to understand that if you're feeling a bit vulnerable right now or exposed, or this is kind of scary, because I don't know if you weren't anticipating this, but you do have people on the outside that are watching and are gonna call for help. They're not gonna stand back and let this scenario stand, because you do have good friends. And I feel like, again, like, please don't play victim in this scenario, okay? Because there's some kind of an energy here of like, maybe you're like, I'm just a girl, or I'm whatever. Like, this is the don't mess with me zone. Like, this is like the don't be romanticizing a scenario that is very toxic and will torch some of your relationships and torch your relationship with your body, your self-esteem, your spirit. Like, this is, as I said, like, there's a very clear message that this isn't your person, this isn't the one. And whatever advice that you're receiving from this person, like, you could even be receiving messages, the advice from the toxic person themselves. Okay? Like, there's just something about the advice you're being told is not coming from the best of intentions, or at worst, they're unaware of how they're feeding into a toxic person. Again, like, this could be either the narcissist themselves or one of their flying monkeys, or someone who really easily enables abusive behavior and whatever. I'm seeing with the trees too, maybe fall is significant, so maybe something's coming towards you in the fall. There's something that's going to be irresistible to you, and you can't let your guard down just because this person gives you an opportunity that you feels safe or feels financially safe. Like, no, like, you are protected, but you are also remember that you are the one that it's in charge of your money. You're the one that has the value. And I know you want to sleep. I know you don't, like, I know you're tired. I know that you don't want to fight with this person, or I know you don't want to give up. But, like, right now, the position you're in is you're very exposed and vulnerable. Okay? And that's why your spirit guide team is saying, we are here. Listen to us in this scenario. You are the one with the value. This other scenario will take that from you. So please listen. Please don't go down this path. We need to let each other go. Yeah, let this person go. Let these false belief systems that were harming you go. You are not a child anymore. Like, if you're laying down and curling up and expecting someone to protect you, that's a childhood response. It could be a trauma response, but in any case, you're shutting down and expecting someone to run in and take care of you, and take care of your business, or take care of whatever's going on, and that's not going to happen, guys. So ask yourself, why am I in protection mode right now? Who am I allowing in my life that's not protecting me? And who am I not protecting, vice versa? Because right now you're not protecting yourself. And that's very intentional. Again, maybe you weren't aware that people conditioned you to do this so another person could stand up and get to play savior. And then when that person's advice falls through, you end up like a helpless child. And that is by design. Okay, you guys weren't taught this unintended. You know, this is meant, like, I definitely feel like you were influenced into a situation that you're so used to. Well, this is what people talk about on social media. This is what other people go through. And it's like, just because other people go through it doesn't mean it's normal. We need to let each other go. Like, let go of these old stories. Stop believing that you are helpless. Okay? Like in this scenario, no one is coming to save you. You've got people watching, but they're watching in horror. They're going to say things to you, but you ultimately have to deal with the consequences of your own actions, so they're going to hurt really bad. I know it was a distraction from your pain. Yeah, you guys are utilizing this situation so you don't pay attention to the pain you have within yourself. Okay? You can't keep running to these toxic people anymore. You've gone too far and you've come so far. You know, you are being invited in to better things. Follow the rainbow. Okay? Like, I'm definitely seeing, like, this whole, like, there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So follow it. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be this hard to find happy, fulfilling relationships, guys. Why are you still going back to these people that you know are bad for you? Ask yourself that. Like, if someone is punching holes through walls and saying nasty things to people, why do you stay? It makes no sense. Do you think, like, the happy people are liars? If so, then you need to sit and take a step back, because normal, healthy-ass people, we're not, like, you maybe fell for the lie that, oh, the asshole who's saying all these shitty things is really deeply hurting inside. That's bullshit. You fell for a trap. You fell for a narcissist, you fell for whoever, and you're gonna get hurt if you continue down this path. I love you unconditionally. Yeah, your spirit guides love you unconditionally. You should expect unconditional love. Unconditional love is what's going to get you out of this. To say you're not a victim. All right, maybe you're divorced. Maybe you're somebody that had a really difficult time in childhood. Now is the time we step up and we start protecting that version of ourselves. Because that's our job, not somebody else. Not a man, not a woman, not a partner, not a cop. Like, there's like obviously certain things in society that are meant to protect us. But right now, you got to be making the decisions for you so that way you're safe. Don't be disillusioned. Stop with the whole like, oh, well, if society did X, Y, Z, if we just raised people better, if we just blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. There's a certain amount of understanding that like human beings are always dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just like walk around the world as a child and expect to never get burned. Like, you have to develop skills to protect yourself. That's part of being an adult. Okay? And again, maybe adulthood to you feels very scary because some version of you was never taught to protect itself, and that's why you're scared. It makes sense. And if anything, I want to say from my spirit guides and also me personally, like, thank you so much for asking for advice about this scenario, because asking is what's going to keep you safe. It's going to keep you from getting hurt, maybe killed. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many scenarios where when you're shut down and you're not aware of what's around you and the mistakes you're making, because to you guys, you're like, oh, I'm making a mistake. These are compounding over time. This is like the type of energy that maybe you got screwed over in high school, and then as you continued to go throughout life and never learned how to protect yourself, you get hurt over time and time and time again, and then that's when the big baddie comes in, because they know you're scared and vulnerable right now. That's why Spirit is here, to guide you away from those scenarios. Okay, so listen to your intuition in these situations. And I feel like your intuition's been telling you. They've been telling you and telling you, but maybe you sometimes need a person to physically tell you. But that's the first problem, is you shouldn't be relying on these tarot readers or these other people to be guiding you that way. Why don't you have friends that are like sitting you down and talking to you about this? I mean, not everybody's going to have that at this point in time in their life, so it's like, this isn't meant to be shame-based, but allow this reading to be the message that you need, that this advice isn't okay. We've got encouragement in reverse. Yeah, there is a lack of encouragement in this advice, so maybe this person was talking to you, but maybe they were judging you or shaming you. So like, this kind of feels like the backhanded advice where it's like, well, you should have known better, or like, why are you being difficult? Or why, like, what's wrong with you? It's like, this energy gives me the vibe of like, say, for example, you told this person you were being abused by somebody, and instead of being like, oh, wow, that really sucks. I mean, like, they're kind of like, yeah, that sucks. But then they were immediately pinning it back on you. Being like, well, if you would have just done XYZ, that wouldn't have happened. Or like, yes, but like, this is kind of like the type of person that will protect the image of family or the image of the nice guy instead of looking at the reality. Because this person also is ruled over by this sort of stuff. This person also does not have this, so they don't know how to protect it. They don't have anything to lose. Because they are there to take from you. Or they benefit from this dynamic. Again, by maybe feeling secure and safe. This person doesn't have to necessarily be toxic, but what they're doing is 20 flying. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm seeing, like, again, this rainbow Pegasus horse thing that's like flying or whatever. This is you. This is what your energy's supposed to be like. If you're not like this, then something's wrong, guys. Like, this scenario should not be bothering you. Focus on making decisions that bring you here. And then, like, wide open, 42. And then 20. This could be significant. Yeah, I can't tell if, like, maybe you're younger and this other person's older than you. So that's why you're like, oh, well, this person's older than me, so, like, they have more experience. No. There are plenty of people that are older than you that make stupid-ass decisions. And this is a stupid-ass decision. Sorry. I'm saying as someone that I'm like, I'm not that old, but I ain't that dumb. No. And again, this isn't about intelligence either. This is literally about the fact that there was abuse present. There's this energy of, like, lack of protection that is and discernment that's going on. With wide open, I think like you should feel comfortable and safe trusting your intuition. You know what I mean? Like there's something about you that you guys are so, I don't want to say innocent, because innocent doesn't feel like the right vibe. I just think this version of you deserves your protection first. And remind yourself of the value of all these other things that you could be spending your time worrying about. Like maybe you're thinking about getting involved in a situation that doesn't involve you. It doesn't require your input. You know, like maybe you're trying to go rescue somebody, or maybe you're like, again, this could be like a relationship of some kind where you're just like, oh, well, maybe if I invest money in this, it's going to come back to help me. No, it's going to come back to haunt you. Okay? With like follow the butterflies, you know what I mean? Like pay attention to like the small details that will guide you. Like I definitely feel like your spirit guide team is sending you little signs and signals, and they're trying to, like about the scenario, they're trying to remind you what are the positive things in life that are more important than this boyfriend or this ex or this toxic boss or person. Look at the small signs. And I'm going to part your message with this, you know, for example, when we're talking about the woods, right? You always hear the birds chirping when, you know, life is going normal. But what happens before the tornado? Or when there's a hawk around? You don't hear any birds. So if you don't see any birds, you don't see the butterflies, you don't see the things that are normally supposed to be there, that's a really strong indicator that you're walking into a bad situation. Again, take that metaphor for what it's worth, but as I said, there will be small little signs that if like the small delicate things aren't there. So for example, if you're like working at a company and you notice, hey, you don't see diversity there. You don't see like posters that are motivational, or like, you know what I mean? Like there's kind of like this energy of like, look around the environment and you're going to see what kind of place you're stepping into. You know, look for the little small things that bring you joy. And there's a reason why they bring you joy, because they only grow in places that are good for them. So, yeah. Anyways, though, thank you guys so much for checking out this message. Please, please, please be safe. If you are looking for better and sound advice, check out the links in my description below. I have a list of resources for professional, you know, both in the links down below, I have a giant page devoted to different professional resources to help with like homelessness, therapy, etc., etc., to help you with making a better decision. Please talk to a therapist. And if you're in an unsafe scenario, understand that your spirit guides can only do so much. Okay, if you continue to choose to go that direction, then yeah, bad things are going to happen to you. They can't protect you from everything if you're making bad choices. Okay, so please, 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 you know, protect yourself, get in community with a solid, safe friend, someone who actually cares and can acknowledge that you are struggling right now and are vulnerable. And just please protect yourself. Like, comment, and share this video. And if you're interested in booking me for a reading, links are in the description down below. But again, free advice right now. I'm just saying, no. No. Anyways, love you guys so much. Take care of yourselves. Please be safe. And I will see you all next time. Take care. Hello, everyone. You have chosen rock number 3. Or group number 3. And these are going to be your messages on, should you follow this person's advice? Is this the right pile for you? Is this the right group? I don't know. There's something kind of interesting about this message, because when I first started channeling it, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is probably pretty grounded advice. I got up to go take care of myself, and then I sat down and I was like, you guys should stop smoking. Or like, there's some kind of like, I don't know if you guys smoke a lot of pot, or like maybe you use substances to try to help you self-regulate. I do just want to caution you about that. use discretion. Again, this isn't a judgment or a replacement for therapy. However, I will tell you that there is something about this pile in particular that substance abuse will affect your judgment and also this person's judgment. And that will not give you the most optimal results that you could if there weren't other things going on here. Again, it's not coming from a place of judgment. This is just coming from a place of there's a little bit of self-harm energy in this frequency field. And so like this person that you're talking to also is in that same vibe. It's kind of like what I'm feeling is like the dynamic between you and this other person. Like maybe you both have addiction tendencies. And even if you don't have, like maybe you don't smoke or you don't drink or whatever, addiction energy is still the same. So for example, maybe you have a shopping addiction, a workaholic, like being a workaholic, codependency in general. You could have grown up in an environment with codependent people. So maybe you were not the addiction person, but you were the enabler, right? I do feel that that energy is at play here with the advice that's being received. So please be careful because this person, while this advice for this particular scenario is pretty solid, I do feel like you should be cautionary about that vibe being brought into this scenario and future scenarios. You know what I mean? Because like, again, I do feel like this is a good friend. And I feel like this person, like, they're not like somebody who, I was about to say like, you know, man, there's something about like, just don't pass judgment on this person. You're just gonna have to take each piece of advice as what they say and at face value. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, what advice applies to you, you gotta discern for yourself. My eyes are getting drawn towards the Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, where it's kind of like, I'm feeling like you gotta be the protagonist in your own adventure. And I feel like you like to make decisions quickly. And I think that's also what this person's like. And so this is kind of just like information for you from spirit that when this person either channels something or whenever they're moving towards something, you have to take it just at face value and to not, like, as they're putting it, go slow for the deeper advice from somebody. In this scenario, though, the advice was given like this. And it's a fast, quick judgment call. It's not something that you're supposed to overanalyze. It's for being in the moment. It's spontaneous. You know what I mean? So, like, for example, like, there's something about, like, it's kind of like someone reminding you that it's not too deep. You know what I mean? Or, like, don't sit and have a big philosophical discussion about what this person said one time when this could have been an offhanded remark. Again, maybe you were watching a tarot reading live streamed, or it was kind of just like a really quick thing, and you're coming back being like, you know what I mean? But you said that one time, and it's like, my God, people, like, like, I'm not Jesus. This person isn't Jesus, you know? Like, they said something one time, and especially if they were under the influence of a substance, like, what did you expect? You know, use common sense, okay? Let's get into the cards. I hide behind material things. I hid who I really am for you. Oh, instead of from you, for you. Okay. I leave you leaving me behind, and I'm starting to understand our conversation. Or our connection. Okay, yeah, I'm already misreading a bunch of these, but that totally checks. There's something about, like, maybe you put this person on a pedestal. Again, like, I'm seeing, like, so for those of you who aren't aware, Sonic the Hedgehog is a superhero who is the fastest hedgehog in the world, and he runs around, and he's very sarcastic and sassy, okay? And so I'm going to use the scenario of, like, a superhero in general is, like, you're looking at this person, you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? This person saved the day, and then, like, the one time the superhero isn't, like, you know, maybe the superhero is working a job or something, and then they don't say hi to you, or they don't, like, they say something, just an offhanded remark, and then you take that advice, and then something goes south, and you're like, like, this definitely gives me the energy of, like, the boys, or, like, the people that are, like, that turn on Spider-Man, because that one particular time Spider-Man dropped the ball, or whatever, and made a mistake. Like, I feel like you guys, with tarot readings in general, you're very much, like, you're very critical and judgmental when something doesn't go your way, and that's not how tarot works. Sorry, I'm just calling y'all out. I don't know where y'all are coming from, but in general with this person's advice, like, you can't sit there and say that this person sucks at reading tarot or that they're not giving sound advice just because you took something from like a moment thing. It could have been like a fun event, or it could have been whatever, and then you're coming back being like, well, this person's advice, like, are they really good at giving advice? It's like, yeah. But if you're asking someone, like, again, with Sonic, I'm seeing him like he's running at the speed of sound, and he's just running, doing his thing, and you ask him an offhanded comment, like, it's not meant to be that deep, guys. Like, can you not think for yourself? Like, with I feel you leaving me behind, for example, maybe you guys were watching a pick-a-card reading from a professional tarot reader, and, like, there's something about this energy that y'all are giving off where maybe you got advice that was very surface level. You're trying to make a professional decision off of it, or, like, you know, a major big life decision over some fleeting advice that applies to everybody, and then when something didn't work out in your favor, or when this person, you're like, is this person coming towards me or not? Or whatever, I feel like you're leaving me behind. Like, you are leaving yourself behind. And your spirit guide team is going, whoa, 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 slow down. I know what's best for you. Not the tarot reader you paid for, not the YouTube video, not the whatever. The purpose of this tarot reading, guys, is to call you out, to say, come back to source. Come back home. Come back to your roots. I understand that there's a lot of other people out there that can give you channeled results from the universe, but what is meant for you, like your gift between you and the universe is yours. You can't keep putting people on a pedestal. That, like, defeats the purpose of spirituality. Ask your angels and spirit guides. Start building a relationship with them. Have you ever tried channeling your spirit guides? I hide behind material things. Okay, this person can do that sometimes. Like, I don't, like, okay. I should say this because some of you guys, you're very much latching on to a person that I don't want to pass a judgment on. Because for some of the people in this pile, y'all were scammed. Legitimately. By people that are, like, intentionally trying to scam you. Other people, there's very kind, wonderful tarot readers out there that maybe they made a professional mistake, because God forbid, we all do. And I would not want to sit there and have my voice on the internet be used to say this person's a fraud. Like, y'all are trying to start drama on things that should be between you and spirit, and your spirit guides. I hid who I really am for you. Yeah, like, you don't actually know these people. You know what I mean? Like, this advice that you're receiving, like, you don't know this person who you received advice from. You know what I mean? You just see, like, the shiny outer wall. Maybe this person talks very confident or whatever, and then you're like, I don't know, like, I feel like you're hiding who you really are from this person. You know what I mean? What are you doing getting advice from this person over here that you have no idea what they're talking about? And it's like, this doesn't apply to you. Like, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of one of my besties who, he's just like, he's very straightforward on this stuff, and he's just like, I don't owe you anything. You know what I mean? It's like this is nonsense, guys. I hid who I really am for you. I don't know if you're trying to, like, anticipate somebody, like, being a fraud because you got screwed by other people in the past, when it's just like, y'all gotta use your head a little bit and use your own discernment. I'm sorry, like, this isn't meant to be disrespectful, but you guys are disrespectful towards tarot readings and tarot readers and stuff like that, because you're like, like you guys, like, devote yourselves to people that you know nothing about, and then get mad when you get screwed because you just want to externalize like, decisions you got to make as being an adult. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? I'm sorry, you came here to get sassed by the universe. I'm sorry, we got, like, 5 piles here to pick from, so your spirit guides needed you to hear this, because this is This is insanity. I'm sorry. Like, why are you guys giving up your bodily autonomy to somebody who is taking your money? And if they're not taking your money, like, why do you care? Y'all, don't be clowning yourselves. All right, finding out the truth crushed me. Yeah, I feel like you guys, you took this person's advice in the past, and then you found out that what they were saying wasn't real. And I think that kind of hurt your respect for this and relationship. This hurt your relationship with this person. Yeah, I can't even talk straight. Yeah, there's something that, like, you gotta clear out your throat chakra a little bit, because, like, the truth crushed me. It's kind of like, for example, maybe you stopped believing in tarot reading and spirituality because you were like, wow, you know, this professional tarot reader made a bad call on this, or, you know, with spirituality in general, I mean, like, yeah, there are a lot of fakers and stuff like that, but, like, this is the pile that you guys are looking for certainty in a world where you can't ever be 110% certain on anything, right? Like, y'all are the people that get pissed at the weatherman when the weather changes, but you're living in Texas. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, things are gonna be uncertain. That's not the point. You know what I mean? And just because you're not developing judgment within yourself, you are looking for someone to blame, right? Like, y'all are immediately, like, y'all are the fair weather friends, or, like, again with Spider-Man, I'm just, like, seeing you guys being like, well, where was Spider-Man to protect the city? Meanwhile, Spider-Man's, like, every single day going out there and kicking the bad guy's butt, and then y'all are sitting there being like, oh, nope, Spider-Man, I'm sorry, you know, my car got crushed, and even though this big baddie would be significantly worse to deal with, I'm gonna sit here and complain. Also, your outfit sucks. Like, like, we don't owe you anything, y'all. Like, seriously, especially people that are doing this professionally to, like, help other people. If you want to go be an idiot and get scammed by tarot readers that just want your money, go over there. Leave the people that are actually doing something real with their lives go. Sorry, I'm tired of this kind of energy. Don't go without a goodbye. I need to know how you feel. Yeah, so I think, like, the advice you received from this person didn't work out. And I think the more mature option for how you should handle this is let this person know how you feel. Because there's something in this vibe where you either didn't tell this person the full story. You know, like, again, if you ask this person for advice in passing, like, yeah, they're gonna give you a like a 5-minute, like if you ask for like a 5-minute reading, or you heard like a quick speech and then you went to try to implement it, and then, like, it didn't work out, and then you're sitting there, instead of going to that person and saying, hey, you know, that advice really didn't work out, did I not do it right? Instead, y'all are going around and bitching and trying to, like, trash on this person's reputation. Like, and here's the thing too, if you're dealing with, like, a psychic intuitive person that also is, like, you know, on the lighter side of things, they already know how you feel. Like, are you dumb? Like, I'm sorry, like, yeah, yeah, are you dumb? Are you not understanding that you're supposed to communicate as an adult? That, like, if you ask for a 5-minute reading or a 5-second thing, your life's not gonna magically get pulled out of the gutter. Like, what are you doing? Use your head! My god. Alright, it's the stillness in your heart that sets me on fire. Yeah, be still. Your spirit guide team is just saying, like, chill for 5 minutes. Stop being dramatic. Don't go after people's grandmas. Like, this setting me on fire, like, you're setting yourself on fire. Trying to throw karma around. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if y'all are like, alright, I'm gonna use, like, maybe you guys, some of you guys aren't this way and other people are. It's like, why do you need to use spell work on something that you made a dumb decision over? You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes no sense. Like, this, you are setting yourself on fire to set yourself on fire. Because you won't sit and reflect. Essentially, this is very reactionary energy. This is very like, oh, we're gonna sit here and throw our words around, and then, like, what are you actually gonna do here? What did you achieve? This is the superhero person that's out there, like, saving the world. Like, If you're gonna latch onto one tiny little thing about how you were slighted, how has that worked out for you in the past? How has that worked out for you with your dating relationship? This person could lead you to gold, but they could also lead you to ruin if you want to play that game with them. I'm sorry. Like, they're kind of just like saying, hey, I'm facing supervillains that are way more important than whatever this stupid drama is, and they don't care. I'm going to tell you right now, this person doesn't care about your opinion over them when you're out here just talking trash and not contributing anything. I love you more than I could ever let myself be. Yeah, how are you holding yourself back? How are you letting this person's advice that they gave you one time stop you from being yourself? Stop you from your own judgment? Because here's the thing. Every human being has been given bad advice at some point. We followed it and then we got hurt. Where in your childhood or where when you were younger did that happen that you never got out of this cycle from? Are you used to getting screwed from people? Yeah? Okay, then what are you doing or not doing to protect yourself from that? Have you asked this person, how do I protect myself from liars? Because this person seems to be fighting people way bigger than the battles that you're dealing with, so why don't you ask them about that? Finding out the truth crushed me. Yeah, it's okay that you got hurt. I'm not sitting here coming at y'all because of the fact that you got hurt by this person's words. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the truth is that y'all gotta take responsibility for your own shit. This person doesn't owe you anything. Especially if you didn't pay them. Why, like if you didn't give them the full story, if you didn't give them your time, money, and energy and attention, then why the heck are you coming and getting so angry? You just want to throw your energy at people. It's not gonna stick. They don't care. And the people around them also don't care about your opinion when they realize that, oh, you're just sitting here flapping your mouth. You're not working on anything. You're not trying to resolve the situation. You're just siphoning energy off of people. That's what this is. You siphon energy. Because you got hurt and you can't handle what's actually going on in your world. So pick yourself up. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think you guys, maybe you're a fighter type energy. Maybe you're the type of person that you are very reactionary. That's okay to a degree. But here's the thing, if you're going to fight with fire, don't play. And expect yourself to not get burned when you play in someone else's field. You know what I mean? It's kind of like sitting there being like, not everybody runs their ship the same way. Some people, they're used to like, oh yeah, we're gonna just like talk shit to each other and then we're all gonna be okay. No, this person doesn't fuck around. They don't have time for this shit. Damn, y'all gotta grow up a little bit. You're stuck in my mind like heartbreak. You broke me open. Yeah, I think, if anything, this person's advice hurt you in a way that you needed so you can go figure out what your truth is. Follow your own path. Why is that such a scary ass thing for you? Did someone else take away your autonomy? Is someone else bigger and stronger than you? Maybe looks like this person? Did this particular person hurt you? Or did people who reminded you of this person do that to you? People that have better capacities than you. People that are smarter than you. People that have more money than you. This person is not in alignment with those other people. Now, you have been hurt by people like this, and maybe this is the person in question. But in general, what I'm saying is, the lesson here, the advice here, Spirit is telling me that you guys were broken open so you can create and forge your own destiny. That you gotta stop taking this shit so literally and focus on what you need to go do. Focus on healing yourself. Go connected with the divine feminine, the divine masculine, or like God, whoever you follow, or not God. You know what I mean? Maybe God's too triggering for you. Get in touch with nature. Whatever you gotta do to start believing that you're in charge of your own life. You're in charge of the consequences of the mistakes. And maybe you've never been taught how to face the consequences, and that's why it's scary. It's okay that it's scary, guys. Like, y'all were clearly not taught some level of discernment. And quit asking for the handouts, quit asking for the freebies, because right now you guys are not on a spiritual path with how you're approaching this person's advice. I'm sorry. Anyways, y'all, thank you so much for listening to that message. I know it was difficult, but sending you guys a lot of love. I'm sending all of these messages with the intention of calling you out as a friend, because I'm not here to be a hater. I'm here to just say, hey, y'all, bestie, put your crown back on, value yourself, and start making better decisions. I want you to succeed, but I can't do that if you're letting the ship sink, okay? Anyways, thank y'all so much. Like, subscribe, and share if you like this message. Links in the description down below. If you'd like to book a personal session with me, links are in the description. And also check out my blog for more information about how to develop your discernment and all that other good stuff. Anyways, though, see y'all later and have a great life. Hello, everyone. You have chosen pile number 4. And this is going to be your messages on, should I follow this person's advice? Is it solid? Is it what I need to hear right now? Yeah, so for you guys, the type of advice you received, it kind of feels like feel-good advice. And right now you're kind of trying to discern or distinguish, is this was this told to me to make me feel better? Or is this a path I should actually feel like? I feel like maybe the person who gave you this advice, they have a good heart. And I'm seeing a person in particular I know, they're very they maybe not have all the intellectual components to give you the best advice, but by God, you felt good after talking to them. You know what I mean? And so you're just trying to check in with Spirit to be like, hey, Spirit, is this in alignment with me? I don't know. Both parties feel very sweet in this scenario. And maybe the situation isn't super dire. I don't know. For some reason, with the last pile I just gave, I just had to give a tongue lashing to somebody. And maybe you guys are dealing with someone in pile number 3, where you're just how do I heal from these kinds of people? Yeah, it's kind of you guys, I don't know, I just want to say you guys are so smart. You're so protected and safe right now, and I want to give you guys a big old hug, kiss on the forehead, and be you're taken care of, okay? Whatever is going on, y'all are precious human beings, and, yeah, you deserve better treatment. Especially if you're dealing with someone from, group number 3. Shit. I know I messed up everything. Yeah, maybe you guys made a mistake. Maybe you made a poor judgment call. You might be the other side of pile number 3, where maybe you're a tarot reader or you are a professional where you gave some bad advice to somebody and you're trying to undo a mistake you made, but you're being very hard on yourself and the advice that you were given doesn't feel real. I feel you even though we are apart. Yeah, I feel like you're connected divinely to another scenario that has nothing to do with you, and you try to maybe help, but it's not your role or responsibility. I feel like the advice that you received from this person or on this scenario, take charge of your situation. I feel like there's a lot of people that are giving you opinions and their thoughts, but the advice seems to be few and far between. Because I think a lot of other people also don't know what they're doing. So it's kind of say for example, you've got problematic person, pile number 3, here, who's causing all this mayhem and mischief and whatever. And then there's you over here who's just trying to live your life. You're I don't know anything about this crazy drama. Why in the hell would someone say that about me? You guys are feeling you're feeling very judged. You know what I mean? I'm looking at Archangel Michael, and it's this person with a sword. It's this person's relentless, and it's why? Why you gotta be like that? Yeah, and I think there's something about you guys that maybe you are spiritual, and you've had people in the spiritual community come at you, and you're just I'm just trying to spread joy and love, and it was just one message. Maybe someone people are I just want to validate y'all to say don't take this shit personally. After after channeling that message, I just want you to understand you guys are not the problem here. All right, you guys are not the problem, and any advice you receive about this decision that you need to make or where you're going, maybe you're thinking about moving away from a community or whatever the heck is going on, don't let the toxicity of other people, don't accept it. Just look at it from the standpoint of focus on your own advice, right? So, like, for example, I'm sitting here, like, I keep being drawn back to, like, well, I'm supposed to be talking about what advice this person gave you. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm kind of like, as I said, I think a lot of the advice that you've been receiving, or like maybe you've been trying to do readings, or you've been trying to channel messages where it doesn't seem very clear, I think that you need to be listening to your own advice. Because I think you guys have really great discernment. I feel like you're kind of maybe the superhero person where it's like you've got so many gifts, you have so many options available to you, and you're literally getting upset about these bottom feeders who can't make decisions for themselves. Put your crown back on, understand the role that you play in this, and then listen to your own advice. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of getting the vibe that it's like, even if I tell you something, the whole reason these people are getting under your skin is because you're insecure about something that they said. And it's resonating with you. And now you're smart, right? You guys, you do the work. You probably go to therapy. You probably, cross your T's and dot your I's and all that stuff. And so you're sitting there like, why is this upsetting me so much? Or like, why is this still happening? It's because people are people. And you're a people, okay? Like, you're a people, guys. I'm gonna pull some more cards because, like, I feel like, again, they're like, well, I don't want to listen to you. I want to listen to messages from spirit, which is fair, but like, guys, like, spirituality. So again, like, I feel like maybe you're like a professional tarot reader or somebody who you're in the spirituality business or the world of that, and you're struggling with the human concepts of the fact that human beings aren't always nice to love and like people. They're not always kind. And when it comes to hearing messages from spirit, and with channeling people, okay, because like you could have also gotten bad advice from a tarot reader one time, but you're not sitting there going like, I'm not cursing the sky, I'm not cursing God because I didn't get my way. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of an ego is that? You guys don't have the ego that other people do. And so when it comes to pick-a-card readings, I want to remind you guys, all right, if any spiritual person who's channeling a message, right, we can't always know what blockages and internal frequencies that person has with that message. Part of the exchange between a spiritual person and the person receiving those messages is there's filters that that person has and the filters that you have on what you choose to receive. Okay? That is all it is. That's the human experience. And we're overcomplicating something that doesn't need to be this complicated. Okay? And there's a lot of people out there that they're traumatized, they're struggling, they go to spirituality because they can't think for themselves, and then, like, you know what I mean? There's like a whole lot of growth. And these people that are coming at you or that you're dealing with, you got to have patience with them. They don't have the divine insights and connections that you do. You might have been like, yeah, I came from this background and I wanted to start tarot because it's fun, and now there's all these mean people coming after me. Like, I'm not gonna lie, just who cares? Why do you care? There never is a point in time in history where there aren't people bitching about things they should be bitching about. Right? And like, why would I tell you to stop being a superhero because of the haters? That they're jealous of what you have. They're scared because they don't know how to make decisions for themselves. You're making choices that are best for you. And I'm sorry, why aren't you listening to your own advice? You have such a great inner compass, guys. Like, I'm sorry, like, I know we're focused on this other person giving you advice and is it sound? But, like, the only way you're gonna know that is within yourself, and you already know. You know what I mean? It's like there's something about, like, you're not trusting your inner knowing where it's like, it doesn't matter what this person said. If you're Spider-Man, Spider-Man already knows how to save the city. That's his job. That's what he's been doing. You've been doing this, whether you're conscious of it or not. You've been saving yourself, you've been saving other people, and you're continuing to do great at it. So why is it that you're questioning yourself now? Why are you questioning yourself now? You're always going to make mistakes, guys. That's not the point. This is about learning to deal with other human beings that are flawed. And we're flawed. But allowing that kind of energy to make you question what you're doing, making you question your connection to the divine, Again, we're not God, we're humans. But spirituality is also human. Look at how many times humans have screwed up spirituality. Look at religions, for cripe's sake. You know? Like, it's okay. All right? It really is okay. And don't turn away from your gifts because you can't connect with haters. People that are shallow. You know where you're at, what you're doing. You know the blessings and safekeeping you have. Protect yourself, guys. Protect your energy and your mind. I look for you everywhere. I'm becoming a better person. Yeah, I feel like you guys are... Some of you guys maybe are also questioning spirit. Or questioning your spirit guides. Like, did I channel this right? Is this who I am? Is this what I need to be going towards? And like, I'm just seeing right off the bat, you guys have such a bright future. You have so much love inside of you. Like, I look for you everywhere. I feel like you're constantly looking for spirit, being like, where's God in all this chaos? You know? And I'm just feeling like it's all within you. Okay? You're looking everywhere for your answers outside of you instead of looking inside. And you're like, I keep hearing that, but what does that mean? And it's like, okay, live within your soul for a moment. Think about my Spider-Man scenario. Okay? What would Spider-Man do? Because Peter Parker, he was afraid at first when he got bit by the spider. Yeah, he was like, oh my god, like, I've got superpowers and oh gosh and whatever. But you know what happened? He made choices. He rose up and then he defeated the bad guy. Then he made choices. He defeated the next bad guy. And then he built everything up from there. And so when you let go of the idea that you need to be perfect, that you need to do something outside of yourself to become Spider-Man when Spider-Man's just Spider-Man, you don't need to go down all these additional avenues. You don't need to be putting so much weight in receiving the right advice to get you through this scenario. If Spirit wants you to know something, I think everybody in this group knows, unless you're like kind of a beginner, if Spirit wants something for you, it's going to be very apparent. You've been doing this before. What's causing you to question now? It's just another day. Just another dollar. Just another whatever. Right? You're gonna survive. You're gonna be okay. Now maybe you gotta clear out some stuff. Like maybe you did say something problematic, right? Okay. Apologize and move on. If people are hung up on stuff from your past that makes no sense with your current reality, then who cares? Seriously, move forward. If they want to remain victims in their own head and in their own lives, let them go. You can't save those people. Your job isn't a savior, but you are saving people, regardless of if that's your mantra or not. But you know what you're here for. You know the battle you're fighting. And like, you've got a sword that you can use to protect. There's a huge difference between protection and just fighting to fight. Okay? And you can fight with love and kindness. You can fight with strength. You can fight in so many different kinds of ways that don't involve whatever this past bullshit is. Again, like, if you're ashamed of something from your past, like, who cares? Who cares? If they want to, like, not move on, then that's on them. Like, sorry, the world keeps spinning, guys. You calm my demons, you remind me I'm not a monster inside. Yeah, like, here's a message from myself, not just Spirit, but, like, when I see great people making mistakes, they remind me that I too can be a human being. Okay? And you remind me that I'm not a piece of shit on the inside, because a lot of these negative type people, they get inside of your head. They cause you to spin. They make you to think like, man, why are there so many people like this? And a lot of it's because they're scared. Okay? A lot of these people's demons are coming from the fact that they just want to survive. They just want to win. They just want to exist. And they weren't taught the skills how. Or they are not strong like you. They're not connected to an ethereal being. And this stuff doesn't make any sense. You know, there's a lot of people that you might also be encountering that, again, they're just used to having handouts. That's how they were raised. That's how the churches treated them. Because that's how they learned to connect to spirit. is, oh, I'm sure there were plenty of great priests and spiritual people that had good intentions that were like, all right, in order to get people to come in to listen to the word of God, we got to give them handouts. And then they just sit, it's like, I literally see like kids waiting for the pizza party. You know what I mean? A lot of them don't give a shit because they're not actually connecting to spirituality. And why, like, if you are a spiritual person and you actually believe in the things you're doing, like, yeah, I'm already hearing, like, you're lecturing me. And it's like, well, spirituality can be a lecture. If they don't want to listen, then they don't want to listen. You know? That's not your fault. Especially when you got people in the back that really need to hear the words you need to say. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking and saying the things I am for these people in pile number 3. And you shouldn't either. Whatever your message is specific to you. Whatever gifts are made for you. Don't let anybody talk you out of that. You know, maybe the advice you're getting is kind of inconsistent. That's because Spirit wants you to figure it out on your own. Okay? You keep me real. Yeah. Anything that keeps you real with Spirit. Okay? And I think that another perspective to look at like these people that are kind of coming at you right now is their perspectives serve a purpose. Okay? They keep you grounded. Okay? It's important to understand that we are, like, especially if you're a spiritual practitioner or if you are a spiritual person, we are not God. We are not the judge and jury of other people. As much as we want to do the right thing, we're flawed humans. Okay? I think we all can agree that. And with keeping you real, it's okay if other people react to something you said to keep you real, right? Like maybe you said something that you had no idea had a different connotation. So then apologize and move forward. You know, like we're all humans. And I definitely feel like whatever you did not deserve the backlash that happened. But to me, why do you care? Because if they don't take the time and energy to understand you, then why are you doing that for them? You don't have time for that. You've got bigger battles to fight, okay? Your strength and light give me courage and hope. Yeah, there's so many people that maybe they can't give you the advice you need, but they rely on your strength, your courage, your light, and your hope by just being you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just really want to hype you guys up because to me, you guys are my heroes, okay? And you don't have to be doing super amazing things. I think just you guys being you gives me hope and courage. That I'm like, wow, I'm not the only person on this earth that is out for the money or out to win or out to go make the latest buck because I have a superficial like desire for things. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are amazing. And the advice from Spirit is to remind yourself of that whenever you're taking people's advice. You know? But you don't need it, you know? You have so much light inside of you and courage. Use that courage now. I'll give you my heart and soul if you'd let me. Yeah! So many people want to do that for you. And you want to do that back. Okay? But, like, you can't give your heart and soul... Like, don't give your heart and soul to people that are literally just gonna stomp on it. You know what I mean? Like, Spider-Man wouldn't be Spider-Man if he stuck around the haters. He said, oh, well, because the newspaper said something bad about me, so I'm not gonna fight the bad guy. I'm gonna let New York go up in flames. No! No! Right? You don't have to stop being a nice person because there's other people that want to roll in garbage. Like, come on. Chin up, guys. I couldn't get any harder if I tried. Yeah, it's like... You know what's kind of weird, too? This may be for some of you guys, but I think some of these people, these haters, also are, like, secretly very attracted to you. And attracted could mean many things. It doesn't necessarily imply sexual. It could. But I just feel like there's a reason why they react so much to you, is because it's like, if the amazing superhero that they put you on a pedestal makes a mistake, suddenly their reality crumbles. It's kind of like, I'm seeing it like whenever people see... Oh, yeah, here's a good example. Dave Grohl, when they found out he was cheating on his wife, and everybody lost it. They were all like, oh my gosh, Dave Grohl, he was supposed to be like the good guy in the rock and roll industry and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, to me, I'm like, if you've ever worked in the music industry, you know. Like, you know exactly what it's like. And understanding that with the public, especially if you're in the public eye or if you work with a lot of different kinds of people, just because they're mad and angry at you, like, they're gonna forget in like 5 days anyway. Some of them won't, but that's their issue. And like, especially like with the Dave Grohl example, it's kind of like, okay, I mean, that's a more extreme example of doing something that's wrong, but understanding that people need an image to follow. And so when they see someone not in alignment with that image, they're going to be very hard on you. You know what I mean? And now, depending on what you did, I mean, like, yeah, there can be more outrage or less outrage, but like, you guys really didn't do anything that wrong to warrant or to even give the time and energy to these people. Because I think a lot of these people, they're just very triggered and they're hungry for justice and control, but they secretly like you too. Because even your haters and your enemies, you know, they want you. They want you. I'm sorry. Like, if they didn't care, they wouldn't be up here in arms and stuff. They just want you to be like what they want for them, and that's not what you can be. So sorry. You embody my deepest fantasies. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Also, be careful about when you're receiving advice from people, y'all, because I do think that you gotta be careful about people that do view you as a fantasy, that because, like, say, for example, you are a spiritual person, and you have really good advice, and everyone, like, tries to be like, oh, well, that's your advice versus spirit's advice. And I'm sorry, when you're talking to a spiritual person, you're always channeling, whether you know it or not. And so, yeah, like, be careful of the fantasizing and the fetishizing and the golden cow energy. Just utilize your spirit guide team. Like, really make sure you get in touch with them and you're constantly working with them. Oh my gosh, I heard like a crash energetically. That was so weird. Yeah, utilize your spirit guide team to protect you from these kinds of energies. Say, hey, I'm no longer opening to receiving these kind of energetic messages. They don't serve my highest good. And yeah, just sit and also talk with your spirit guides and angels. You know, like, actually sit and have a conversation about them with us, because they're like, hey, God, this is hard. It's hard out here. You know what I mean? And like, especially if like you're the only one in the room that's coming up and doing this shit, they don't have a right to judge. I'd be like, can you do this? No? Then sit down. Man, I'm sorry, my inner Inuyasha came out. Anyways, though, guys, thank you so much for checking out this reading. It is going to get better, and trust yourself. There's sound advice available to you here, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be, it's not going to be important in the grand scheme of things, okay? Sending you guys a lot of love. And find community within the people that are actually your community. You know, maybe if you're a blue hedgehog, go find other hedgehogs, or maybe a echidna or two, or a fox. Because yeah, there's a lot of people out there that do love you and will protect you from some of this stuff and remind you that not all people are bad. You know, just because you got mud on your face from a little incident. Anyways, yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you would like a personal reading, or a shout out from me, because I just want to say shout out to all you tarot readers out there, because you guys are doing great work out there. It's thankless work, but you know, we do it anyway. Yeah, links are in the description down below. Check out my website for more information about professional resources that are available out there. And yeah, check out my blog and consider contributing to it, because I'm looking for other spiritual people to connect with and to support my cause and mission, because I think we'd work well together. Because I don't know what all work y'all do, but I want to support it. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Hello, everyone. Welcome to pile number 5. And this is gonna be your message on, should I trust this person's advice? Is this the advice that's meant for me? Right off the bat, I'm feeling a bit drained. I usually do for pile 5s and whatnot. Not always, but in this pile, I just feel like the first thing I was thinking of is go slow. I don't know if y'all been dealing with depression, or you're just really, like, having a hard time comprehending things. You just need to slow down a little bit. Yeah. Because you're burning yourself out. Especially, like, for example, like the last, like, 2 piles had a lot of drama going on. And I feel like you guys are just, like, you're over everything. So maybe the advice that you received from someone was literally to slow down. And you're like, what does that mean? Do you guys have, like, robot brain? Do you guys, like, I don't know if y'all are autistic or there's some kind of like just an energy of like I am trying to slow down. Is this what you all meant? And your spirit guide team's like, well, yes and no, and you're like, what does that mean? And as you can see, obviously I talk pretty fast. I'm very high energy. And I can talk slower, but I don't need to talk like this. This is how you're interpreting that data. Oh, I gotta tease you guys a little bit. This is all in good fun. You and I were too young. I'm so attracted to you, and I bury myself in work to forget you. Yeah, okay, so the advice you received from this person works, but not with the way your brain works. I'm scratching my head. So it's like, I want you to just like take a deep breath, okay? Because I feel like maybe you guys mask to a certain degree. There's just something about the way this pile's brain's wired where the advice you receive from allistic people or people without mental illnesses is not going to apply to you the same way. Okay? It's kind of like, I'm looking at my Sonic the Hedgehog toy right now. And to me, it's like, you're a human and I'm a hedgehog. I don't have the same needs as you. Okay? Like, it's kind of like, loosen up a little bit, and understand that, maybe you've been struggling to understand the world around you, and you're at this point where you're just like, I'm just gonna shut down and be a computer, beep boop bop. And I get it, but it's hurting your soul. It's hurting your spirit. With you and I were too young, I feel like, you know, people treat you like you're a child. You know what I mean? And this is very frustrating. I feel bad. I'm thinking about somebody that I know where it's like they are very smart, but they're diagnosed with autism. And because everyone thinks that autistic means that you are slow, that you're a child, that you don't understand what's going on, when it's like, nope, my brain just works different. And we're living in a world that actively likes to treat everyone like shit. And, yeah, I probably would be farther along if society, you know, was made for my type of brain thinking. I'm so attracted to you. Yeah, I feel like... Oh, were you guys asking for dating and relationship advice from somebody? And you're trying to be like, is this work? Oh my gosh, yeah. Or maybe you're attracted to the person that you asked advice from. So maybe this could also be a standpoint of, it could be your brain does not function in this scenario. Where it's like, okay, I'm sorry, like, receiving advice from a sexy person, I totally get it, because it's like, you'll be sitting there, like, maybe you work with this person, or maybe there's like, maybe you purchased a reading from somebody, or you were talking to them, and you just, like, maybe you're, like, a normal human being, and then all of a sudden you talk to this person, and then you just turn into a robot because beep boop bop, you're so pretty, and you're cute, and I like you. You know what I mean? Like, there's just definitely, like... You guys are adorable. I'm sorry. I think you just gotta be careful, guys, because regardless of what this advice was about, or who this person is, I think you're just struggling. You're on the struggle bus. To even understand what the advice was, like, especially if you were, like, really attracted to this person. Maybe you didn't even know you're attracted to them until you walked away, and you're like, why was I talking like that? Oh, this is my brain registering that I find them sexy. Oh my god, Spock, calm down. Calm down, horny Spock on the loose. Okay? I bury myself in work to forget you. Yeah, I feel like you're So here's the thing. I feel like you were given advice a long time ago about, like, basically just work yourself to death and it's gonna figure itself out. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know what everyone else is doing. Just, like, answer instructions so I don't have to think and feel and do whatever. And I'm sorry, like, that's why, like, autistic people have such a hard time, because we're literally just, like, we're complex beings and have different needs and stuff. And then, like, allistic people spin out and they get angry and they do all this crazy ass shit when you don't follow their dumb rules that makes no sense. I'm sorry, you guys are just smart. And you don't fit in a society that's run by terrible, stupid people that rely on people being both either stupid or terrible. So when you are not in any of those two categories, you're going to struggle. Okay, that's just my summary of life and the world in its current state. And with the you and I are too young, or maybe just like the you and I definitely feel like you and this person that you received advice from, or maybe the person you have a crush on, you're just kind of viewing things in the bubble of you and this other person. And I want you to be very careful with that mindset, is because, again, take what resonates, but, like, you want to make sure that you separate from this other person mentally, because maybe you're very compartmentalized in your thinking. And so, like, whenever you are paying attention to somebody, for example, you have to put your full mind, body, and energy into that connection to stay focused. Maybe you got ADHD. Or you just have a hard time in general. You're like, I'm a hedgehog, and you're a person. But, like, maybe this person's a hedgehog too, and you don't know it. It doesn't matter, though, because unless that person tells you they're a hedgehog, you're not gonna... You may or not get it. You may or may not get it. Oh god, I'm tripping over my words. Maybe you guys have a hard time communicating. Yeah, maybe write your thoughts down before getting advice from certain types of people, just to sit and unscramble and untongue tie yourself, especially if you're talking to a hot person. God, I just keep getting to this, like, oh man, she's pretty. I don't know if I should listen to this advice. And yeah, and specifically too, like, this could be in the sense of, like, maybe, okay, moving back to alignment, you know, take charge of your situation. You know, just because someone's attractive doesn't mean that they have your best interests at heart. I'm thinking of, if you want to continue with the Sonic the Hedgehog analogy, Rouge the Bat. She's very attractive in the show, or whatever, that's what she represents. And yeah, she can get her way by being, you know, blinking her eyes and doing whatever. And so maybe you guys do have a natural distrust of attractive people, not because they're attractive, but because they do that. And there's kind of a silly little association between sexuality, flirtation, and liars, because you can't discern the difference when sometimes people flirt for fun, guys. You know? Oh my gosh, that must have gotten you in so much trouble in the past. It's like, I can definitely see, like, a girl being like, hey there, hot stuff. Or not even saying that. That's even too direct. Like, I feel like someone's like, hey, so could you, like, you know, carry this thing to my office cubicle or something like that? Or just like, oh man, like, I didn't know that, you were interested in this. That's exciting. And, like, unless they're talking in a certain type of tone of voice, you were like, nope. Nope, be gone, vile woman. No, I have a hat, thanks. That's a quote from my dad. There's a long story. The point is like, you just completely blew over this person's advances, and, you were probably too autistic to notice. Maybe you've had hot people straight up flirting with you, and you're just like, derp-a-derp. Oh my god, you precious humans. I love you guys. Oh, we've got 4 Spirit of Place and 24 in the reverse, stuck in the mud. Yeah, so something about, like, maybe this person's advice was about helping you getting unstuck. So, like, we'll use a very simple scenario. Say you're at work and you ask for assistance on something, and you're already struggling with social anxiety. You're already overwhelmed. And then you ask for assistance, and this person gives you a half-assed response, or they don't give you very good instructions, and then they expect you to just figure it out on your own. And maybe you can figure it out on your own, but maybe you can't. In this situation, you can't. And then you go back and ask for questions, they get pissed, and then you're just sitting there being like, You told me that I could ask questions to ask for clarification. And they're like, yeah, you should just figure it out. This is allistic people. What they don't understand is that you need clear verbal communication. We can't be making assumptions here because not everybody has the same brain. Not everyone was taught the same. And learning to communicate is human in human nature. Okay? So the advice that you received, again, was probably coming from the pretense that this person is not autistic or does not have your same special scenario. So please don't beat yourself up about this, because I think, like, listen to what the little birdie in your head said. If something in your head is saying, hey, I don't think this is for me, then leave. Just leave. Okay, you're not going to win. Like, this is kind of like with the stuck in the mud. You are staying in scenarios and in places that do not work for you. Okay? Now, it's tricky to navigate a world when a majority of the people around you are screaming dumbasses and unaware of other people's needs, and that's just socially acceptable. What you can do, though, you can check out some of the links in the resources down below on my website, because there are professional organizations you can talk to. That doesn't solve everything, though, and it doesn't solve your day-to-day life. So what I would say, well, okay, Spirit's advice is telling me to stop, slow down, assess what your needs are, take advantage of what you have around you. If you got DEI available, use it. If you've got PTO, use it. Don't push yourself. Be a cool cat. Okay? With the Spirit of Place, this card is all about being mindful and present in the moment. I think recharging your batteries is going to be really important with discerning this advice that you're receiving. Because I think right now, like, for example, if you guys are trying to get help on something that you're like, I don't even know who to go to for help at this point, because it feels like the whole world's up against me. No one's telling me the truth, or they're not giving me answers. I'm not getting it, and it's like I'm constantly struggling. Listen to content creators that are also autistic, ADHD, all those other things, because everything's going to make a lot more sense why stuff doesn't work out. Because we have spent time, money, and energy into healing ourselves so we can help you. Okay? I can totally relate to this energy with the you and I were too young. My eyes are getting drawn back to that because, like, I feel like there was stuff when you were younger. You know what I mean? It's like people just picking on the ADHD kid, and you were never taught that they were just picking on you. So you genuinely believed that they were harming you. You know what I mean? Or, like, you know what I mean? Because, like, there's a certain amount of, like, bullying that other demographics just kind of accept that, oh yeah, that's part of life. Versus you guys are really triggered by that. So maybe you guys can't take jokes because you're used to people straight up abusing you because you don't get it. You know what I mean? Aw, like, maybe you guys were beat up in the past, or, like, again, there's something about, like, you were just too young to understand what was going on. And maybe the adults, the parents you had, they didn't know it either because they were also autistic, and you didn't have options to find resources with other people that can help you. Now we got the internet, and suddenly it's like, whoa, I can talk about being autistic and not get laughed out of a room. Holy shit, there's autistic people running the world. Look at fucking Elon Musk. You know what I mean? I don't think he's confirmed Asperger's, but you can't tell me that man doesn't have some kind of autism. Okay, now he's not a good example, but you know what I'm saying? Is that now we've got major tech companies running the world, and half of them are autistic, so what the hell? You know what I mean? Why do you sitting there thinking, like, oh man, my autism is holding me back? Well, it's like, well, yes and no. Just think of yourself as Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Faster than the speed of sound. A little weird, a little goofball. But people still like you. They do. I mean, a certain demographic of people hates autistic people, which could be, pile number 3, or other people, but, like, that's their problem. There's also a lot of other people out there that have emotional intelligence that are like, oh, that person's actually really gifted in different ways, and I'm not triggered because I'm secure in myself. So stop pretending like you're a robot, guys. You don't need to do it. You gotta just give yourself the audacity to rebel, to stand firm in who the heck you are. And yeah, maybe you are a little childish, okay? It's the brain trauma, okay? Remember, it's just the brain trauma, you know? At the end of the day, society can suck it. Because you are who you are. You were made for a purpose. And it could just be some weird autistic purpose that only God knows. That's for you and your spirit guide team to assess. But don't bury yourself in work to forget about the life you could be having. You know, because we don't need to put up with this shit anymore. You know what I mean? Make your money and go, but like if your life is really getting that inhibited and dark because of your autism, find better community. Start saying no to things at work and start really treating yourself with more respect and dignity, because you're not going to get it from your employers. You're not going to get it from these friends. So stick to the people that know how to navigate this stuff and have a thicker skin. And when you start developing a thicker skin and start processing internally, going, oh, that's not my autism. That was me being traumatized by having autism. Oh, right? Like, it's okay that you're a cool cat, a sensitive human being. Who cares if you... with what you like. Like, if that's what brings you joy and it's not hurting anybody, then who gives a fuck? There are a lot of other people out there that genuinely don't give a fuck. There are autistic people out there that don't care that you're autistic. They are too also tired of the bullies in society. They just have a different way of approaching it than you. So please work with a therapist. Get some healing. Get a little drunk and silly, and then get back to work. You know? Because the work you're going to be doing is about you learning how to find yourself again. And don't give your productivity to people that are just going to abandon you when you need it. You know, like, I definitely feel like this group, you guys would so be manipulated by employers to do a lot of unnecessary work without compensation. And they trust that because you care about saving the world or you've got intrinsic motivation that they can just use you and abuse you however they want. No. We're done with that shit. If you guys can give like a 401k and financial compensation, fine. But no, you're not taking advantage of my pile number 5s anymore, okay? We're liberating you and giving you the finger. Anyways, thank you so much for stopping by Pile Number 5. Sending you guys a lot of love. And I appreciate you. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you would like to book a reading with me, links are in the description down below. Check out my website because I do have organizations that I work with, partner with. I don't know, I don't have the official jargon yet on what our legal terms are, but the point is there are organizations that help folks that struggle with autism or some kind of mental stuff going on. Yeah, so check it out, see what's available to you. And again, don't be afraid to talk to HR and say, hey, I've got this disability, this is what I can do. They will try to peer pressure you because allistic people just think that autistic people are sensitive and they're going to push it. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to get the cops to sit here and make me do this spreadsheet that I can't fucking figure out? And they're like, oh, well, I'll get fired. I'll be like, okay, I'll find another job. You know, and I know it's exhausting, but figure out what your strengths and gifts are and work with that instead of shutting down, because that's what's going to hurt you the most, okay? And killing your spirit. And if you like to go fast, why are you slowing down, man? Hey. Anyways, I will see you all next time. Take care.